Who's coming in the driveway? Goodness.
My daughter is being treated for leukemia. I hope.
No one seems to know this, but Amazon.
Greetings, brethren, sisterin, and otherin, for another exciting evening of Eldritch Nights and Gray Days. Today we start season two, Ghost Ships and Treachery. Ghost Ships and Treachery. So, for those of you who haven't been with us before, we're going to do a quick recap of the characters. Let's go ahead and start with Tommy. Go for it.
Hello, everybody. I am Tommy Stone. Well, no, sorry, I'm not Tommy Stone. I'm Will. I play Tommy Stone. He's a bit of a rough and tumble ex-detective. He lived in Chicago, and then he was told, "Hey, we don't need you anymore." Maybe it was political. Who knows? Um, I just came off of a case. It was a pretty big. Well, I don't know if it was a solve, but it just kind of figured itself out. So that was good, I guess. Um, and I've learned a little bit more about how the world ticks.
Also werewolves. But
Yeah.
so Tommy Stone, hard bitten Tommy Stone. Excellent. All right. Also, let's start with Elliot Montclair. Elliot Montclair, go ahead and give us an introduction.
Yes, sir. My name's Dustin. I play Elliot Orlaney Montclair. He is a aristocrat, silver spoon, gunslinger and gambler from Texas who loves to spend his time drinking, spending his money, losing his money, and traveling. Loves to do that. Favorite place to travel to? Loves to go to Mexico. And he tends to get his equipment from there too, both his guns and ammunition. He's lost a lot of money, but not enough to hinder him very much. And
Less than you'd think, Laney. You've got a pretty good luck, actually.
mhm.
Pretty decent luck. You're one of the luckier people in the group, since that is a statistic. Okay, so we've got the hard-bitten detective. We've got the Texas high class Laney Montclair. Also, we have a war veteran, Mr. Colt. Feel free.
Yeah, my name is Blaze. I play Samuel Colt II, uh, direct descendant of Samuel Colt, legendary gunsmith. Grew up in the rough and times. Coming into World War One, I signed up. I fought in major battles as a cavalry soldier, utilizing my father's main gun, the Colt Walker. In the final battle of World War One, I was shot down, or my horse was shot down from under me, shattered my leg. Uh, my memory's a little fuzzy at that point. I remember being medically discharged at the hospital, being told I would never be fit for service again, and I'd walk forever with a limp.
Oh no. All
Uh,
right. And also, Mr. Colt has seen a few things in his time overseas, things a little stranger than just the Hun, just the enemy. All right. So the story begins this time around. Tommy has kind of a benefactor, maybe even call them a patron. Tommy has been shown to be quite a good problem solver. So your patron has put you and a few other competent individuals together to go and look into some things. In this case, Lainey, you got some backstory on this one, or at least some family history on this one. But here's some things that you know about where you're going. You have been sent to a former resort town on St. Vincent Island. St. Vincent is in Florida. Um, from what you know, Lainey, this used to be the place. This was really, really exclusive, mansion after mansion, separated by acres and acres of land. Beautiful, all of it beachfront property. There was a little resort town nestled in between all of the the summer homes. St. Vincent. Well, some smooth talking con man came in and convinced a bunch of people to buy into his Ponzi scheme, and a lot of people lost their shirts. Um, in fact, there are some families who this island resort is their only home now. They lost all their money, all their property, all their pride. So St. Vincent Island is kind of a paradise lost. Let me get you a little mappage here. If everybody can see that, do let me know.
Mhm.
So we got St. Vincent Island. Um, some things about St. Vincent. The closest shore town is called Franklin, across the sound there. There is a ferry.
We are
once.
Fog of Ward, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tick tock, tick tock. Not bad. Fog of war, lighting, not place, hide or reveal. Manually, hide full page, reveal area, rectangle. Okay. Bodhisattva, stick. Aha, how about that? Yes?
I just see the black square.
Reveal full page.
Me as well.
Come on, come on. Darkness, opacity. Reveal area, hide area, reveal area. Anything upper? Doggone
Nope.
this thing. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. All right. Draw
You know,
mask.
I tried doing this myself earlier in Roll20, and I can't.
Yeah, they've they've done a number on us, and they've quote unquote improved things. Let's see. That's not doing it. Hide full page. Reveal full page. Do that. Reveal full page. Nope. All right, let me reload it and see if I can do that. Back to the landing page. Do you see the landing page? How about that?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so that's full screen. Once. Okay, that's centered. And then settings. All right, let me reload it and map it. Map. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, no angel. Reveal area. Push. Jump. I'm gonna get mad. All right. It's just repeating the same things back. Oh no. See, this is why you check your technical before anything happens, kids. Otherwise, bad things happen. All right, lighting. Hey, got somewhere. Can I turn off? Can I turn off? I'm just going to reload the page, see if that helps. Okay, so while we're doing that, I will let you know a little bit about some things that you know. So, Lainey, you have got the skinny on how this place used to be. In fact, your family probably has a family home here. Not the family home, but I love the little place when I'm not out punching doggies. So you have a place to stay for yourself and your compatriots if you wish.
Hmm.
Again, there's a ferry. The ferry is once a day, early afternoon. That is not, I do not want to hide full page. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Let's see here. Alrighty. All right, let me up the opacity. It's 100%.
How did we arrive in town?
You arrive in town via vehicle. You were traveling with Madame Etoile, and she's got that rather kind of gaudy
Oh yeah.
travel cat. You got to get down. Not right now. Let's see. GM layer. Is it on the GM layer? Let's find out. Reveal area. You rat bastard. Let's see. No, it doesn't like it. FX. Dynamic lighting. Turn darkness off. Daylight mode. Dynamic lighting. How about dynamic lighting off? Thank you.
I got something.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
We got an
St.
island. A
Vincent.
couple islands.
Ha ha ha. Tee hee hee. All right. So, do you see the name of Franklin and St. Vincent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
beautiful. There we are. Tee hee hee. I'm going to have a new hat here in a minute. Cat, get off my stuff. Okay, so here we are on the lovely island of St. Vincent. Y'all piled into Franklin, where Laney's got some people to store vehicles for whatever time you need them. Then a ferry out to the island is probably going to be in your near future. Okay, so reveal full page. Good. All right. So some of the other things that you have heard about in your researches. Your patron Tommy wants you to make sure he's got a friend with some investment opportunities out here, wants to make sure everything's on the up and up. Not going to be any um, bad surprises about um, anything really. He doesn't want any complications, any surprises. So you're going to go out and do a cursory look around, check the vibe, as it were. You wouldn't call it that, but put your finger on the pulse of the resort. Let's see. Which one of you do you think might have some interest in history? Specifically, any of you? Any of you might have some historical stuff? Hi, Ollie. Okay, so um, let's see. I'm gonna give this one to Laney because Laney knows his stuff. Um, there's actually rumors that there's a uh, treasure-filled shipwreck
Hmm.
somewhere around here. The Capitana El Ruby was one of the last of the Spanish treasure fleet. Um, and the fleet ran into a hurricane late in the season in 1733, um, blew blew some ships all over the place. And your minor amount of research, there was actually an account of a British vessel who was out hunting for Spanish gold-bearing ships. The HMS Phoenix found her off the coast of St. Vincent, apparently being attacked by local natives. The locals had come out in force in boats, fishing boats, and attacked this Spanish vessel that had run aground somewhere around St. Vincent. Um, the Phoenix had come around and was preparing to board when something happened. Um, the ship's doctor described a sudden flash of light of a quote undescribable color. The flash killed most of the natives, apparently the entire crew of the Capitana and many of the Phoenix crewmen. And the doctor said, standing on the deck of the galleon, was a glowing figure who pointed at them and shouted in what sounded like Latin. But other than that, St. Vincent Island, fine fishing, beautiful landscape, sunny beaches, potential haunted shipwrecks, the usual. But that is what you have heard about everything. So, um, heading into if you need any more information about the location, um, now would be the time to ask. Um,
Local authorities.
um, Local authorities. Okay. Um, you haven't run into this situation a lot, Tommy. Um, but there's such a thing as unincorporated areas. There is apparently a mayor, but you don't know if that's like a title. You don't know if that's an elected official. You don't know if that's just the guy who decided he was going to be mayor this year. But yes, there is a mayor. Uh, your information says that his name is Justin White, Mayor Justin White, and I'll put that in chat. Um, uh, Lainey, your family knows the Whites, or at least this particular branch of them. You're not like buddy buddies. You might not even invite them to the barbecue, but I mean, your name is known to them. Their name is known to you. Um, and other than that, there's not really a police force. This doesn't fall under any county jurisdiction, so there's not even a sheriff. Though again, if somebody broke into some place and busted something up, stole some stuff. The mayor probably has somebody to talk to on shore about looking into things. Um, Technically, like state police would be jurisdictional, but you don't know of any state police outfits, any posts out this way. It's kind of a quietly lawless place.
Hmm.
Uh, Social pressures. Any other questions?
Is there only one way on and off the island?
Um, okay. Most of the citizenry of St. Vincent have boats, whether yachts that they used to have, fishing boats. Um, Again, the fishing here is particularly good. Um, Evidently, the current's bringing a lot of stuff in, and so the fish eat that, and the bigger fish eat the little fish. Um, so anybody who wanted on or off the island by boat, no problem. Um, the ferry is once a day, shows up, hangs out for 2 hours, and then heads back. Um, but and again, even that's by by appointment. There's not a lot of back and forth. Um, Again, there is apparently some kind of restaurant in the resort town. Um, but again, just think sad, rundown, shabby, has been resort, and you pretty much got it. Any other questions?
What's the name of the friend that Harvey has that he wants me to check up on?
Oh, the one who's thinking about buying some property here.
Yeah.
Let's see. His name is Charles Gallia. Oops, I misspelled that. Charles Gallia. Italian American, ran into some money recently, looking for investment properties, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, cool. So you arrive in Franklin. Anybody who wants to stash their vehicle in the excellently appointed garage, recommended highly by Mr. Montclair. Again, you all have worked together, know each other a little bit. So if you have any questions about the other characters, stuff that you might know, stuff that you might not know, um, let me know, and we'll make it up as we go along. All right. In absence of anything else, a trip on the ferry might be in order, which gets you to St. Vincent. Again, the overall feel of the place is rundown resort. They have beautiful marble fountains, mostly cracked and old, and most of them aren't running. We got one. Um, there was a fine hotel here, and you don't know, it was owned by one of the big hotel. It wasn't Waldorf Astoria, but it was somebody big. But they sold it, and apparently it's been turned into some sort of boarding house, relatively moderate to high class boarding house, but a boarding house nonetheless, named Bernadette's. On the way in, you come up this channel here, the ferry, da, 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 and you come up this channel. Again, lined with moderately expensive to very expensive homes, spread out very nicely. Again, a lot of water overlook, a lot of docks. The people you see here are mostly older. Don't see a lot of kids. Don't see a lot of teenagers. Might be a couple locals hauling lines, or bringing in the sales every now and again. But you get a few waves. Ferry coming to town again. Tee hee. Um, And but it's sad. This place is just there's just a under an underpinning of morose here. Everybody's just kind of going through the motions. So you're in St. Vincent. What do you do?
I think Tommy's just gonna I'm gonna be looking around, trying to. Everything looks sad, so my Tommy's mind is kind of along the lines of what here would be worth investing in property wise, unless you're buying low.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like,
Go ahead and give me a poke around roll then.
okay,
And anybody who wants to
let's
assist Tommy
look.
in making some inquiries and looking around, let me know.
Ah, yes, I'm so glad I took that one. Yeah, glad I
Gotcha.
took that. I took
Up there.
methodical, so I get to roll reason instead of luck. So
Nice. Nice,
thank
nice.
God.
Okay. So you very methodically look around. You eventually find a tiny, like, lands office, where you can see what properties are available for sale, that sort of thing. Um, well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is there are quite a few properties available. The
Okay.
bad news is there are quite a few properties available. Most
Yeah.
of them are, you see a lot of as is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, buyer, uh, you know, let's see, let's change that to the front. Um, you do get a half decent map of the island, including, including the fact that there's a road, um, actually a couple of them. That's one. Couple of roads around the island. One is on the inner, so to speak, and the other one pretty much circumnavigates. If I can get them all to come up here. Um, oh no, pretty much circumnavigates the island. Um, I can get it to do it. Technical. Um, so there we go. That'll do it. Let's bring those up to the front. Jerk. Yeah, quite a few properties out there. Bring that to okay. So the layout. Uh, you've got roads heading north and south out of town. Does everybody see all the roads?
Yes.
Mhm.
Looks kind of like looks like a constellation. Okay, so you've got the road that goes around the horn there, all the way around down. You've got the southern branch. Again, most of this stuff is beachfront beachfront property. There's a handful across the middle. Um, this the island has a fairly high center point, so even the ones that are up above the oceanfront stuff can't really see it. They're high enough up to see the ocean, but maybe the tops of a few mansions. Some clusters there. Again, some nice beaches around. The thing is, a lot of these properties are for sale. Um, and the lady at the lands office, Mrs. Mullaney, um, she says she could probably echo that.
Sorry, not.
Oh, no worries. She can probably arrange for someone to show you any properties that you might be interested in looking at. She quietly puts a little asterisk next to about 7 of them and like, does, unless, you know, I'm not going to say they're firewood, but um, yeah, fixer upper, not a starter home. So, um, what do you do? What's everybody else doing, by the way?
I'm doing the same thing, looking around.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to locals.
Okay, everybody's looking around talking to locals. So Lainey, what sort of information are you looking for?
Ways to make more money.
Ways to make more money here? Um, hmm, I think, hmm, well, go ahead and give me a puzzle things out roll. That's going to be plus reason. See if you can figure anything out.
Okay, so do a roll. Okay.
Yeah, click the button, the dice button next to reason. That should do it.
Let's see. I gotta open my thing.
Yep.
There we go.
It's going to ask if there's any
There we
modifiers. There are not. Oh, fail. All right. So it's not exactly a failure. Um, Unfortunately, you run into, let's see, you run into Bob. His
Uh-oh.
name is Robert Bob Lyle. Lilesle. Bob Lyle. The good news is he is a fountain of information. The bad news is he is one of those talkers. Okay. And you evidently hit his buttons. And so he wants to tell you every possible money making opportunity there could possibly be on this island. And then he wants to tell you, well, you know, the old McGillicuddy brothers, they were going to start a cannery here, a fish cannery. And that went over like a pack of lead balloons. And then, yeah, you're decisively engaged with the loquacious enemy for the duration. Um, the worst part is he's kind of fun to talk to, you know. He does tell a few good stories and a few good jokes, but yeah, you're you see native, locals like steering around you at, they don't want to get roped into this apparently. Okay. So Mr. Colt, you're going to talk to a few people.
Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a read a person roll. On your character sheet, you could just click on passion, click on the dice marks passion, and again, there is no modifier.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Don't get a lot of new information. The townies, you are kind of used to villages and towns and places where they're kind of insular. You know what I mean? They're just they keep to themselves. You know, and this one's odd because this is kind of a tourist place. And if you've ever been to a real tourist trap, everybody's friendly. I mean, just friendly, shave your back for a nickel. They're just effusive. They want you to come in, they want you to sit down, they want you to try the apple pie, they want you to spend all your money, come back again tomorrow. And these folks are more than a little standoffish, kinda. Um, you go to offer to shake hands with one, and he kind of looks at your hand for a second, and then because you don't put your hand down, he reaches out and gives you a dead fish to shake. Um, and it's not like everyone's moving in slow motion, but it kind of feels like it. You know, the one guy's got a fishing line set up and it's bobbing and bob. He's got it set up on one of those hangers so you can walk off and have a beer and come back and see if you caught a fish. It's going up and down and up and down. And he kind of sighs and wanders over and lands the fish. Um, Everybody here is just lost the juice of life. Okay. There's not a lot of light in the eyes. Um, and again, nobody is like hostile to you. Um, but they're just keeping you at an arm's length. Something you do notice, you're pretty perceptive, as I recall. Um, yeah. Um, Something you do notice is it almost feels like this is a town full of shell-shocked veterans. You spent some time in a few hospital wards with people who just kind of sat there and, you know, didn't want to think about stuff, didn't want to, didn't want to go to sleep because they were going to wake up screaming, kind of a thing. And so that's the closest you can get to the vibe. And these people are people who've kind of given up. Um, you know, just it's like they don't care about anything. Um, most of them are fairly slim, not like emaciated, but like you saw this happen too. People are like, what's the point? You got to eat something, George. What's the point? I don't even want to be here, and nobody's like actively suicidal, but it's just it's overall sad, 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 sad. Um, let's see. Would you rather trust in your luck, Mr. Colt, or would you rather trust in your ability to get along with people?
Mhm.
I don't think you have a modifier for either one.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me a roll. You can either do luck or affinity. Let's see if anybody bumps into what you're looking for.
Go with affinity.
Beautiful. Hey, excellent. Success. Okay, full success. Well, you're actually there's a old boathouse. Used to be really, really nice. That somebody has set up kind of as a garage bar. Um, and so there's some noise going on in there. You wander in, order a shot of this or that. Um, and one of the other people there is a veteran, a younger man. He's in his 30s, but he recognizes your bearing, and you two start. So where'd you serve? Oh, over here. Uh, that was pretty bad. Yeah, yeah. Where did you serve? Over here. Ooh, yeah. I thought I was bad. He's like, yeah, it was pretty. So you bond a little bit over service histories. He's got none of that. He's got none of that. His name's George Hatton. Um, George is not. He's not a townie. He his family probably worked um, at the resort when it was a big resort. He's got a minor sidelight with like charter fishing and things like that. But he knows this place real well. The townies apparently call themselves the Broken. Not really sure why. Um, and he's, any of your insights on that, he's like, yeah, you're right. These people, Yeah, they're not praying for death, but they're waiting for the day. Um, so he said he's never seen anything like it either. You know, he came back and just wanted, you know, anything as unlike France as he could possibly get. So sunshine, palm trees, you know, sandy beaches, you know, that was gonna, you know, trenches, mud, none of that. So he's gonna come out here and do this. And that's been good for him. He's got a tan and he's got a kind of a bounce to his step. But all of his charter stuff is tourists. He said the broken once they lost all their money and had to like scrape by, they opened the town to um the mainland basically, that and somebody's paying for the ferry, probably the mayor if he had to think of it, um, just to get some cash in town. So all of his fishing stuff is, you know, not wealthy, but like fairly well-to-do middle-class folks who want to say they went to Florida and were on a fishing boat and, you know, saw a marlin, even if they didn't catch one, kind of a thing. So, yeah. And he says, you're right. They're just a generally broken down. It's sad. It's sad. And he says, he's actually looking for a dock to run his business out of in Franklin, because there's not a lot keeping him here, but he hasn't got his ducks in a row for that yet. So, um, Mr. Montclair,
Yes,
um,
sir.
you've got the option. Again, your family does have a home here. If
Hmm.
you would like to state officially that you've got a caretaker here who's making sure the dust stays off and the windows stay unbroken, then you three have a place to stay whenever you want, not too far from town. If not, if that hasn't happened, then y'all have an opportunity to stay at Bernadette's, the boarding house. A nice boarding house, but a boarding house nonetheless. What's your call on that one?
I'll say somebody's upkeeping the house.
Okay,
Somebody,
beautiful,
we have a place
beautiful.
to stay.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so you got two people running the house. There's basically an in-house and a groundskeeper. Grounds is why don't you tell me about the groundskeeper?
The
Give me a give me a description.
groundskeeper, a personality description or a physical description?
A personality, let's start there.
A very quiet man.
Hmm.
You know, he's older gentleman. Dad's known him. My father knew him for a long time before he passed away,
Hmm.
and uh, he when my father was busy making his millions and millions of dollars, he would, you know, he would be the one that would walk me around the grounds and make sure I was safe. And you know, he took me to yeah, he kind of took care of me when my dad or mother was too busy. He would he'd take me and get food and to just walk around town and see the sights.
Okay. So you've got some pretty fond childhood memories of being here then, it sounds like. Let's see. Father knew him kind of avuncular, uncle-like, and you called him Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete. You found out later his name was Peter Hawthorne, and yeah, his family has actually been in service to your family for three or four generations. Evidently, great grandpa, grandpa, and dad treated the Hawthorns real well. Um, so, old Pete never went away to the war. He was a little old, um, and Pete does have some kids, basically because the housekeeper is his wife, and her name is Nadine Hawthorne. Um, Pete and Nadine had some kids, one of whom was a um, military age son, and you can't prove anything, but you think your dad played a hand in the fact that Pete Jr. did not have to go off to war, um, because Nadine was real worried. Um, and so this is kind of this caretaker position is something that it's kind of a cushy job. Hey, I'm going to hire you to hang out in a tropical resort and, make sure that the grounds look nice. Mow the lawn once in a while, tee. Make sure the palm trees are still palming. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that really sucks. And here's a good salary, and you get to hang out with your wife in paradise. Tee. Yeah, he hates it. So yes, Pete and Nadine have lots of good things to say about your father in particular. Um, and again, you hold a place in their hearts. That's sweet. Okay, so let's see. If you want to pick one of those locations on the map to be the family property, just pick one out, and I will mark it as such.
I don't really know how to. I don't know how to really mark one
Oh,
for you, but
just take your cursor,
mm-hmm.
hold it over the one you want, and press down, left click, and just hold it. There you go. Oh, that one. Oh, yes. That's a nice one. All right. So I will put a marker on that. Map, map, map. Let's see. We're going to do an ellipse. In what color? Green. So this is not the family home, but a family home right there. Okay. So, the roads. Um, apparently whoever was in charge of keeping the roads manageable hasn't been doing a spectacular job. There are a couple of trees that have blown down at various times that were kind of barely cleared. You sometimes if you can get a vehicle here at the you probably have an little island hopper, a Jeep look-alike that you can drive around. No real top, but there even then there's some places where you'd stop and say, "Hey, could you get out and make sure we've got clearance to get through that semi roadblock up ahead?" There's a particularly bad one on the north side, where that black and red mark is. Um, yeah, apparently there's been some land shifting or whatnot, so the trees come down real easy. And when you get to the house, Pete's like, "Ooh, you came around the loop." Yeah, that road goes out more often than not. It's a longer way around, but that just means it's, you know 2.5 miles rather than two. So, but you can get there either way. All right, so it was getting toward evening. Probably wouldn't want to drive on the roads at night, just because of this and that. So the sun is going down, setting the sea afire ahead of you. Um, White caps becoming gold caps and pink caps and purple caps. A note to all players who haven't played with me up until this point. Anything that you learn as individuals in your investigations, unless you tell me specifically, I don't want Tommy to know this. I don't want Itwal to know this. I don't want anybody to know this but me. I'm just going to assume that that's widely shared so you don't have to explicitly state it every time. So tell me the exceptions rather than what's going on. So the three of you are at the house. Nadine sets out a simple but tasty meal. The wine cellar here is excellent, Laney. You're not surprised. Your father had quite. I keep wanting to make you posh north. My grandfather set down these cellars here. Yeah. He slept in them several times as well, as our grandmother did not care for drinking, a lifelong teetotaler. So, had a lovely meal. After dinner beverage, we've got roommates home. Hello, roommates. Smile, you're on camera. Um, so, discussions. What do you do?
I'm thinking that we sleep here for the night because it's probably been a long journey, and then I'm wanting to locate this. First of all, I want to talk to Charles, um, Leah, and then I think I would enjoy talking to the mayor. I think that would be a good, a beneficial thing to do. Um, I don't know.
Anybody else?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh, I wanna talk to Uncle Pete and Nadine and ask them what life is like here.
Well, you do notice. Um, both of them seem a little grayer than you remember as a kid. You didn't spend a whole lot of time out here, you know, a couple of weeks every summer, but Pete and Nadine were always happy to see you. Um, their kids were a little. Actually, you probably played with their kids, as a matter of fact. We had a couple a little older, a couple a little younger, so um, that was nice because they didn't treat you as the lord of the manor. You were just the city kid who they got to pick on a little bit. But y'all had fun, you know, playing on the beach, blah blah blah. And you remember Pete and Nadine as just this energetic couple, um, pretty stupid in love and very happy with their lot in life. Um, and they just seem a little, you know, gray, not like here, but like a little less joyful, um, a little less in love with the zest of life. Um, so you catch up with them a little bit. They want to know what you've been doing and how you've been doing. And oh, we heard you did this and went to that. And France sounds lovely, and you know, Majorca sounds lovely, and Greece sounds lovely, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but yeah, they just look run down. They look tired. Um, and so what sort of stuff did you want to talk to them about?
Like maybe like firsthand accounts of what happened, kind of deal. How did
Oh,
we go from this amazing resort to this?
well, it happened pretty quick after you and the fam started coming out here every year. When you went from every year to like every five, every four. Was it every four, Nadine, or was it every four? Um, yeah, this fast talking, smooth talking con man, don't even remember his name, but I'll remember that smile and that laugh anywhere. Um, just talking to everybody, came here looking for your dad. I told him he was out of town for a while. He promised to come back, left his card. Um, just a flim flammer, you know. He had some big ideas, and he was going to make everybody all the money in the world, and he got several people to invest. And once he had all the money in a couple of chests, he um, a boat showed up and somebody rowed him out, and he, yeah, never to be seen again. So yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end. Um, the town kind of fell apart slowly. Um, old white uh, uh, Justin White. He likes to be called Jack. I don't know why. old Jack White, he said basically, "Oh, okay, I'm mayor now," and everybody just kind of shrugged and said, "Okay, you're mayor now." And all the broken would, get together at his house and talk about the old times and the good times, and we talk the not the big wigs, not the high muckety mucks, but you're out mowing the lawn and you bump into the next door neighbor mowing the lawn and you talk, and everybody just, I mean, we had, I don't want to say it, but we had a bunch of folks throw themselves off of Huntsman's cliffs. They talk about the stock market crash, couldn't walk through New York City without, business people landing around you. It got bad. It got bad. A lot of people just didn't see a point and just right over the right over the cliffs. Um, but I mean, your family was fine. I don't think your dad would have been taken by this guy in a heartbeat. Um, so you all were going to be all right either way. But yeah, the two families next door, the Whitakers, old man Whitaker threw himself off the cliffs. The missus moved away. I don't know where. They didn't have any money. Um, and the ones, the Jensens, moved away. Again, I heard they sold the house, but I've never seen anybody over there. First couple of years I'd go and, take a peek, make sure all the windows weren't busted in after a storm, and nailed up a few sheets of wood. But um, if anybody comes back, they can say thank you. But yeah, just kind of, I mean, of course, and all our kids moved away and started some things, doing well, doing well. Um, but yeah, it just all started a long, slow slide downhill, and I don't know that they've ever stopped. It's just, so
You never did let me up on those cliffs, Peter. You said he left. I know you as a very organized man. He left his card.
he did.
Do
Uh,
you do you happen to still be in possession of that card?
um, Actually, you're a little late, uh, sir. Your father asked me the same thing. Um,
Don't call me sir.
he
You know I hate it.
he I'm sorry, Laney. Um, Old habits. You look so much like him. It's scary. Well, he wanted that card as well, and apparently he gave it to a few Pinkertons up north to see what they could see. I never heard that anything came of the investigation. Probably an assumed name, probably a fake address. Um, I mean, if you can fake, I guess if you can fake, three, money making businesses and scam some people, I guess a fake business card ain't much. But yeah, damn shame. Damn shame. People treating people like that. It's just, I don't understand it. So, anybody else have any questions?
These suicides, were they everyone, or was it strictly people who lost their money?
Oh, well, you hear things. Um, you hear things. I'm not gonna say that Huntsman's is like the place to go when you've, got nowhere else to go. But from what we understand, there have been a number of people before the Troubles who that set of cliffs played a prominent part in their demise. One of the guys working down at the docks, he's native. I don't remember the tribe, but he said that his people, they have stories going back a long ways. Some sort of powerful wizard or something who threw himself off of there and cursed the land, and um, so they kind of avoid it, even if they're going out. If he's running the tiller that day, they don't go out through Huntsman's Cliffs. He takes them out through St. George. Of course, he knows that water like the back of his hand. Um, and the the straits there, St. George Shoals. Did that show up on the map?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, it's narrower and it's got a lot of sandbars and things to avoid, but yeah, he knows that one pretty well. Knows the currents. So, but yeah, it wasn't a wholesome place at the best of times, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there have been a few uh, people who've taken their lives. Again, some of them turned to poison, some of them turned to, a gun, but yeah, a lot of them threw themselves off the cliff. So, Mr. Colt, any questions from you, sir?
During my last few days in the war, I heard word that the Royal Navy would be stationing some ships down here. Have y'all heard anything about that?
No, I don't know. Nadine, have you heard anything about British warships? I don't think so. Um, I mean, we are officially on good terms with our oldest trading partner, et cetera, et cetera, but I haven't seen anything official. Um, but I don't know. That's a good question. I'll keep my eyes open.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Colt, your new friend, what did they tell you his name was? Um, didn't shoot. Um, oh yeah, George Hatton. George, actually, you two are getting along well enough. He said he doesn't know how long you're staying in town. But he's got a couple of days without any charters. So if you wanted to uh, take a bop around the island, he could point out the sights and um, some pretty beaches. Catch some sun, catch some fish. So if you're interested.
I think that could be good. I think it could be good for me.
Okay, cool. So, unless anybody has anything to do overnight, the evening passes uneventfully. You wanted to go talk to Jack White, the mayor, correct? Excellent. All right. Well, the town hall is pretty obviously, it's back in St. Vincent. It's pretty obviously a home, a large mansion home that has they've done a few things to make it look a little more official and governmental, but this is somebody's big ass house. Um, and I mean, if you go in looking for the mayor, there's not even really a secretary. It's not like a reception desk or anything. It's just, knock on the door, nobody answers. It's open, you go in. A young man walks by and says, can I help you, sir? Looking for the mayor. Oh, okay. So it takes you on into the office. This was probably the library or study or den or something. Just you, or is everybody going? Cole,
On it.
Once or twice.
once, twice? Okay. I'm going to show you a couple of things so you can stop being a lubber. Lubber. I like that word. Anyway, so you're out there learning how to sail. Now I'm picturing Maui. Nope, not that. Nope, nope, not that either. Nope, don't grab that. Don't touch that. Okay. So fun. All right. So the two of you go visit the mayor. Justin White. He's a little more spry and energetic um than the rest. Um, but not much. He's put a happy face on it a little bit. So, hello. Uh, my name's Justin White. I guess they call me the mayor around here. How can I help you gentlemen today?
Have you ever heard of a Charles Galea?
Charles Galea. Charles Galea. Ringing a bell. He's from parts north. Yeah, I'm thinking New Jersey, New York.
Yeah, sure. Um, he's been interested in a few things around here.
Oh,
Um,
tell me more.
what's your favorite part about the islands?
Oh, see, I could go on and on. I mean, what's not to love? I'm assuming you've all made introductions. Mr. Stone, if you like fishing, if you like surfing, we've got some decent surfing on a few of the beaches. If I guess that's that new thing that the kids are doing nowadays. Beautiful boating expeditions along the beautiful Florida coast, snorkeling, some great fishing places, obviously. There's a few beaches that slope real slow out to the ocean, so you can be, how tall are you? 6 feet? Yeah, you'd be head above water just walking for quarter of a mile. It's beautiful. To bring the kids. Um, we do have some things in town. There's a lovely salon for your loved ones to get a good haircut, good curl, maybe some color, something on the nails. Um, wonderful places. Again, I understand you were asking around at the land office. Wonderful residences, just waiting for somebody to come in and fix them up and make them the grand mansions that they were before. We got beautiful wildlife here on the island, birds and just all sorts of wonderfulness. We're minutes away from Franklin. Again, the charter boats available pretty much around the clock. And he goes on like this for a while. And this is obviously a tourist trap mayor trying to drum up some interest in some business. He buttonholes you for a while, Laney, about what kind of property um, you're looking for. Then he finds out it's Stony that's been asking. Um, he's fairly clear-eyed when it comes to good, bad, and ugly properties, and he's steering you towards some good ones. On the ride around the island in the Jeep-ish thing, you did see a couple that looked better than others, and those were a couple that he points you at. Again, families, known the families my whole life, and I act kind of as a agent for them through the land office. So I'm sure any reasonable offer will be considered. We would really love, I personally would really love to rejuvenate this place a little bit more, bring some new blood in, some new life and talents, and maybe an artist colony, if you know any artists, or we could do a Havana North. We could get some night spots here. People come and gamble and smoke cigars and have some. I mean, I'm not going to say they're going to have some liquor, but Cuba is. I understand. Rumor has it that Cuban rum is actually quite tasty after dinner. Um, so yeah, so he kind of throws on the dog as far as what an awesome place St. Vincent could be with the right influx of capital. So while you're doing
Interesting.
that, Mr. Colt, um, you're out with your new friend George, and he's he's got the sailboat. He goes easy on you. He's got a little motor that he can mount, so you can do it a little quicker. He goes up and north around the horn there, eases it through the straits out into the open water. It's a little wilder out here, but again, beautiful, beautiful day. Points out some places, points out some of the mansions that you can see. Um, he's like, if you want a good beach, that's a good one. As far as I can tell, that place is abandoned. Nobody coming there. I don't know if I'd want to take shelter there in a hurricane. That place looks likely to fall down. But can I interest you in some fishing? You don't have to tell anybody, but I got a good fishing spot around here if you want to throw a line in the water and pretend.
I love fishing.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a luck roll, please. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, um, your luck is mixed. You get a couple of nibbles and have not been able to pull anything up. George pulls up a fish, otherwise normal looking. Um, as he gets it into the net, it starts screaming, eyes rolling, just this unearthly. Well, it's not even unearthly. It's even weirder because it sounds human. It sounds just like a human screaming and screaming and screaming. And George doesn't really look at you when he takes the hook out and throws it back. You don't want any of those.
Those. What do you mean by those?
So you're you're at anchor in fairly deep water in the sound there, and he's got a sunshade rigged. So he pulls his hat down a little bit lower. He's got a box over here full of sawdust and ice, and he pulls out a bottle of beer and hands it to you. Hands that, trades it. Um, it strikes me, Mr. Cole, that you might have seen a few things in the war. Maybe some things that other people didn't see. Um, there's some strangeness going on. Has been for a long time. I mean, generations. Feels like it's coming to a head somehow. I don't know why. But, you know, um, every now and again, you pull up a fish like that. And sometimes when they scream like that, you hear a voice of somebody you know or knew, usually. Um, locals don't talk about that, and I'm not supposed to. But it's like It's like all the despair in the town. You ever see a moonshine still?
I've seen my fair share.
Okay. Officially, no. Yeah, my uncle used to make moonshine. So you got the mix and the mash and the heat, right? Well, stuff bubbles up out of that. And the alcohol, it rises into the coils and it cools and it cools and it cools and it drips. And out the other end comes some liquid moonlight, as Uncle used to say. It's like this town is distilled misery. Everything just, it feels like we're being squeezed for our juice. And I'll tell you, the sunlight helps, the waves help, getting away from town helps, getting off the island for a while helps. But there's something there that just leeches your life right out of you. And I don't know what I heard. I heard so and so talking about buying land and land office and whatnot. I don't. If you know them and if you like them, I would not. I would not recommend anybody coming to the island. It's just. He looks around, even though there's nobody, for miles. 2 weeks ago, somebody was fishing off the docks there in town. Pulled up a shark, one of them baby nurse sharks. They're only about 4 feet long. They're not good eating it, and so he was ready to throw it back just seeing it. Thing had 3 eyes. 1, 2, 3. Some of the fish scream sometimes. This thing looked like it was trying to talk. It was putting out sounds. And he looked at it for a minute and just booted it off the pier. And the guy he was fishing with didn't say a word. Just don't see that every day, kind of a thing. Didn't mention it. Went on about his business. So there's something wrong here, Sam, and I don't know what it is. And again, as soon as I get my luck together and my money together, I'm on the last train to Clarksville. And again, if you like the people you're dealing with, they don't want to be here very long either. So there's some clouds coming up. We should probably head back. And you do. So, and we're sitting at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, faithful viewers, for being here. We appreciate your time and effort. We're going to take a short break, maybe 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Come back and see how the intrepid investigators look into the wonderful mysteries of St. Vincent Island. Tune in next time. Be there. Well, next time's in about 5 minutes. So we'll see you.
Who's coming in the driveway?
And welcome back, brethren, sistren, and otherin, to Eldritch Nights and Grey Days. This is Season 2, Ghost Ships and Treachery. We find ourselves on the beautiful, beautiful semi-tropical island of St. Vincent, right off the coast of Florida. And our investigators are finding out some unpleasant truth. All right, so the two who went to the mayor's office to talk a little bit about business investing. Mr. Stone, you said you wanted to go down to the telegraph office and send your patron back a message, correct?
Yes, I just basically want to say, uh, don't invest. Don't decide now. Don't no go. As short as possible. So it's probably just gonna say, do not invest.
Okay. Okay. You do have an expense account, by the way. So as long as you keep, don't buy any boats or planes or trains or anything, but as long as you keep it reasonable and keep track of why you were spending the money, he's good with that. So you can be as verbose as you want. Don't send him like, Webster's dictionary, but okay. So you let him know in no uncertain terms that this is not the place that his friend wants to invest in. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, and about that time, Mr. Colt and his new buddy show back up on the docks. And George lets you know, shakes your hand, lets you know he's going to be over at the Barnacle Bar a little later, if you're interested in any conversation. And so the three of you reconvene in town by the only working fountain, beautiful marble number with cherubs and you gargoyles spitting water. What do you do?
I toss a coin into the fountain.
Okay. Making any wishes in particular or just
That we make it off this island.
gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
I would like to propose to the two of you that we leave. Our business here is done. We know that this place is not a good place to go. Um, we could spend a few more days here, hang out a little bit. But I'm gonna be honest, I can't swim. Um, and I hate the beach. So
How convenient.
You
Fish
you
give me
are
hives and sunlight. I'm a vampire. I burst into flames and my feet itch and oceans are stupid.
you are not a
Go off
very
the fence
you
there,
are not a
Stony.
very
Let us know
fun
what you
man.
really think. I couldn't hear you there,
Oh
Laney. What were
no,
you saying?
I'm talking to Stony. I said you are not a very fun man. You
well, listen, we can go race cars. We can go, catch bad guys, shoot at the range, anything like that. I can't swim.
can't swim.
Oh, something you do know, uh, Tommy. Um, you might not put him in that new Olympics thing, but your friend Laney knows how to shoot that pistol. It's not just hip furniture. It's worn in some places that looks like he knows how to use it. And of course, Mr. Colt has one of his daddy's finest guns as well. So they both know their way around a shooting iron, um, which may become pertinent because you're standing there in the shade of some beautiful palm trees and six guys step out of various places. Um, and you're surrounded. Do you know what a boat hook is?
Maybe not.
Okay. Boat hook, it's wood about 3 feet long. After that, it's metal and it comes to a hook at the end. It's also known as a gaff hook.
Okay.
Okay. So you got a big old fish, you lean down, you go right in the gills, and you haul that bad boy up. You would not want to be hit with one. Also, do you know what a monkey's paw is?
Wait, like the actual monkey's paw or the? Okay.
No, it's a ship thing. Basically, you get a weight and you wrap around it with cord in a particular tie. It kind of looks like a hand, and you put a loop on it. Okay, and here's what they're good for. You take a rope. You're trying to throw a rope to shore or trying to throw a rope out to the boat, right? So you take the rope and you loop it through the loop here, and you zing. And because it's got a nice weight on it, it flies nice. It flies out. It lands. You take the thing off and you haul on the rope. Unfortunately, it's also about 2.5 feet long. And if you're holding it by the loop, zip, zip, wang. It's a very effective hand weapon to the point where they were banned in New York City for a while, and other ports. Can't Sailors can't bring those in because yeah, you get into a little fisticuffs in the bar. That's one thing. If you knock somebody's brain out their ear with a lead weight and a monkey's paw, that's a little more. So the sturdy young gentlemen you're looking at are all have all got something at hand. Um, and one of the meaner looking ones pokes a finger at you, Tommy, and says, we want to talk to you a little bit about some things you've been saying about our town.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Mr. White says you might have some people coming in and investing, and old Murphy over at the telegraph office said you just told him not to.
I think that's when he kind of reaches down, or actually, hold on. No, I think this is like a shoulder holster, like in between the armpit type of moment, and he goes, "Yeah,
We need you to turn around and go back and send your little friend another message.
okay."
Says you were wrong. Says this is a great place to spend some money.
Do these look like they were veterans? Do they look like the shell-shocked people?
Um, the word you're thinking of is thug.
Okay.
um, yeah. Lots of different faces. Don't look like they're from around here. Um, but you know, some of these families still have a little bit of money, and
Mm,
why don't you
no,
just do that?
no,
Elliot, I don't like the look of this.
I don't
no.
think
Here,
I
here's
asked
what
you.
here's what we'll
I
do.
don't think
Here's what
I
we'll
asked
do.
you a goddamn thing, old man.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Um, Pistol out now and goes, "Here's what we'll do. We'll all have a walk. We'll all go talk to the mayor really quick. We'll tell him, oh man, these thick-skulled individuals who clearly haven't seen any combat in their lives and only use muscle that they were able to keep because they don't have any of the mental trauma that the normal folks around here do. We'll walk back and say, these folks, they've been having a little bit of a tough time. Maybe they don't understand what it's like. And they're trying to get people in here the wrong way and they scared business out. I said don't invest for him. I still have some money. I was still going to spend some money here. But I guess we'll leave as soon as possible after we deal with you all."
Yeah, doesn't take a very big man to carry a gun. Come on, boys. And they just turn their backs on you and walk away.
You know what? That's fine. As long as they walk away.
Gotcha.
Do you have any idea what happens when thugs walk away, Tommy?
Yeah, they go get their thug friends, and it's easier to kill them all.
That's one interpretation, sure. St. Valentine's Day Massacre may or may not have played a major part. Thompson guns are available at some point. Not so far, but you don't think they're going to unlimber a Gatling and just mow you down in the street. But I mean, stranger things. All right, so What do you do from here? Threatened by the locals, not even the locals, threatened by thugs that may or may not be local.
Um, when they walk away, is it like they walk away and they're like watching us as they walk away to make sure we don't shoot them in the back, or are they just like, nah, we don't care about them?
They don't apparently feel that worried about you. You do, however, notice everybody else on the street is watching you.
Okay.
The old guy running the bait shop is watching you. The guy over at the boathouse garage is watching. The patrons of the boathouse garage are watching you. Miss Bernadette from the boarding house, she's out on the front porch, arms crossed, watching you.
Gentlemen, I have something I need to attend to. Feel free to do what you would like for the rest of the afternoon, but in the morning, until further notice, um, yeah, I'll meet you tonight. And then I think Tommy's gonna walk off to okay. Is there another bar?
Not really.
Bernadette's it is.
Oh no, Bernadette's the boarding house. This one's called the Boat Hook.
Okay,
It's in an old boathouse.
let's go to the boat hook.
Okay. You do see Sam's friend there. I guess he said his name is George. He he nods at you when you come in, but the bartender walks over and with a very, again, none of these folks are winning customer service of the year. What are you drinking?
Well, I was going to drink something, I guess, medium priced, but seeing as I only will be here for a day, what's the most expensive fun item you have?
Thud. It's a beer just like everybody else is drinking.
Absolutely. How many people are in here?
5.
Is anyone like, how many of them are the shell-shocked people?
4 plus the
Okay.
bartender.
Mm, okay. I'll look at him and I'll go, um, because he saw what happened out there. I'll
Mhm.
go, I apologize that you had to see me do that. Um, I'll just go ahead and pay for everyone in here as long as we're all drinking the same thing.
He nods shortly, um, sets everybody up with another beer, um, and 3 of them look over at you, look at the beer. That's the end result of their interaction with you. Um, and George Hatton walks over. Do you mind if I sit?
Go ahead.
Where did you serve?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually hadn't thought about that at all. Hold on.
Okay. Well, we'll just say at this point you tell him.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. And he tells you his particulars, and he raises his beer, to absent friends.
I do the same.
The 40 and 8, the 40 and 8, the boxcars. They used to transport troops with boxcars in France, and all the military were marked 40 and 8. 40 troops or 8 mules. So some days you're the 40 and some days you're the 8, so but 40 and 8. And so you swap a few tall tales if you're interested. He says, I think you might have got old Jack a little riled. Um, what kind of you hear things. What kind of money are we talking about for these investments?
Well, he was looking mostly to invest in an estate here, from my understanding, and possibly make this a vacation area.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're advising against that.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing that they sent me down here for, was to see, oh, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? And I told them the truth, as is my job.
Well, um, I can't say that it's a wrong call. You know Sam Colt, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, he was nice enough to come out on the boat with me, and we had a few words along those lines. This is not a place where people need to be. So I, for one, don't blame you. Hell, I'm trying to get the hell out of here at some point, and everybody knows it. So sometimes they don't even talk to me. Don't worry about. Don't worry about Mayor White. He's um, he's king of the hill on a very small hill, and the town's dying. Village is dying, and he'd do anything to get some more people and money here. But I don't think it's going to happen. And yeah. So just then, dun dun dun, um, a woman comes in looking distraught, and she rushes over to George, and she says, George, oh, I'm sorry, I know you're in the conversation. George, have you seen Jesse lately? No, Mrs. Huntington, I haven't seen Jesse. Why? Well, she said she was going to come to town this morning, and I've been to the Five and Dime, and I've been to over to Bernadette's, and I've been to the little restaurant, and nobody's seen her. You haven't seen her today? No, ma'am. When was she supposed to be here? And they kick it around a little bit. Turns out, 20-something young woman by the name of Jessie Huntington is apparently missing. And Mama is quite distressed. I mean, she's been so upset lately, and not sleeping well, and I'm just worried, George. I'm just worried. Would you be able to sometimes she likes to go to that what is it, Huntsman's Beach, and would you be able to take a look over there and maybe see if she's, I don't know. I just fear for the worst, George. I fear for the worst. Yeah, of course, Mrs. Huntington. Uh, Sam said that you used to be a detective.
I did.
I could use a couple sets of sharp eyes. Mrs. Huntington leaves. And the other bar attendees watch this exchange, just gray rock expressionless, and go back to their drinking. George wants to know if you would come out with him, since if he's anywhere close to the shore, he's got to keep a real good eye on things, and he might miss something. Are either of the other boys are with uh, sharp-eyed?
Yeah, we could go ahead and get both of them. The more the better. We can contain the scene if there's people there. Um, and if it is the worst, it might be good to have some extra hands.
True that. True that. All right. So, if there's any preparations anybody wants to make before you get on the boat with George.
I'm good. I'm going straight in.
Okay. Cool, hip and groovy. All right. So you're on the boat.
It's life
He,
jackets though, right? He has life jackets.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Tommy is like holding a life jacket at his waist.
Gotcha. Yeah. There's he's looking at the sky. He's like, we might be hitting some chop. You gentlemen might want to put those on. I do have extra. Um, so you head out of the little harbor area there, the protected water. He's heading west. Um, Evidently Huntsman's Beach is uh fairly hard upon the cliffs. So he heads on over there. This is all of your first experience with the cliffs. They are actually quite impressive from here. Um, the sheer rocks falling to um, sheer cliffs falling to rocky ocean. Looks like teeth sticking up. There's no sign of anybody on the beach, so he's preparing to come about. If each of you could give me a luck roll, please. Oh, okay, we got a winner. Huh? Okay, so Stony, you're actually looking the wrong way. Samuel and Laney both see up on the tops of the cliff what appears to be a woman in a white dress, like a summer dress kind of a thing, blowing in the wind. She looks statuesque and gorgeous and beautiful. And that's when she hurls herself off the cliffs. Um, George swears and tries to head over, but he's shouting that the rocks here are just way too bad. There's no way you can get close. Nobody sees any sign of her. However, Lainey, go ahead and take a point of lore, please, because you think maybe, kind of, sort of, behind her, you saw sort of it caught the light. It's like sunlight through a cloud. There was a shape, a human shape behind her that threw her off the cliff. But you don't, you blink and you don't see it again. But go ahead and take a point of the lore at the creepifyingness of that.
Okay.
So what do you do?
Um, I kind of like move put my hand on Sam and point like, did you fucking see that? I can't be like the guy. You saw that.
I'm hoping you're right. Elliot.
Well, you didn't see anything but a redhead throwing herself off the cliffs, which was bad enough. Are you describing what you saw, Lainey?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Tommy and Sam did not see that. George meets your eyes for a second, and you're pretty sure he saw it too, but he doesn't say anything. And after probably a half an hour of um, looking around, you don't find any sign of her body. Um, but he says, yeah, the currents here are weird. Um, if you drop a line over, sometimes a current will drag it a quarter mile out to sea, and sometimes it'll just sit there. So um, I hate to be the one to have to tell Mrs. Huntington, but I don't think she's seeing Jesse again. All right. And he's basically silent on the way back to St. Vincent. What are you three doing?
I'm grilling I'm grilling him about, okay, well, like, Was it a man figure? Was it a woman figure? Like, what did you see exactly?
Okay, good question. Let's see here. Um, Lainey, go ahead and give me a reason roll, please.
Yes, sir. A 4.
Okay. So, all right, fail. So you're trying to remember. You're trying to remember exactly what you saw, and as you described the ghostly apparition, shadowy, smoky, cloudy person, you get the feeling that there are eyes on your back. You know, that feeling, they've done studies on this actually. People can tell when they're being watched. Um, we just somehow we know. And you get that feeling. Something is someone is watching you. So it's and again, the more you talk about it, the more intense that is. Make a note for me to remind you of something later tonight. All right. So yeah, Tommy, Laney describes this shadowy figure standing behind Huntington. And even though it looks like she jumped on purpose, he said it looked like he pushed her, threw her off. Laney, you're starting. It's not quite tinnitus, but there's like a slight ringing in your ears. Sam, what are you doing?
Just have that quiet 1,000-yard stare, same as George.
Gotcha. Gotcha. George asked you to hold the wheel for us for a minute, and he goes off to starboard and throws up, and wipes his face and takes a slug of something from his ice chest and comes back, takes the wheel and says thank you.
Oh,
Anybody
you
else?
had your sea legs.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you had your sea legs already.
Yeah, this ain't it. And the water's fairly calm, honestly. All right, so as you're pulling into St. Vincent, it seems like there's a lot of people out and about. You see people out on their verandas and their decks and their boat landings on those 7 or 8 or 9 houses over that inlet. And again, everybody just seems to be watching you. You make it into St. Vincent, and George ties up and he says, well, I guess there's no time like the present. So he goes over, there's a tiny little hair and nail salon. He walks in, and about 2 minutes later, you hear a scream. Just a woman just wailing and wailing. You hear, no, 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 no. And just sobbing. I mean, just keening. It's just a wail of loss. And everybody on the street, everybody at the little shops and whatnot, they all look at you again, kind of gray and just expressionless, and they turn away from you. So again, the sun is setting. It comes pretty well right up that inlet, and gosh, it's beautiful. Just the green and the blue of the water, and the birds flying, and the sun is setting over over the western part of the island. What do you do?
Okay, now, gentlemen, I regret to inform you that we cannot leave this hell anymore. An injustice has been done, and it's been on our watch, and we gotta solve it. As much as I want to get back to smog and the gray grittiness of a city, we have to stay at this beach.
You
And
know,
Tommy,
you know how Chicago was settled, don't you, Tommy? Bunch of New Yorkers who said, "Hey, I love the crime and the filth, but it's just not cold enough. Let's move."
exactly. And
So,
I think we need to start with the cliffs and not throw ourselves off. So if you're fine with starting there, I think that's where we go first. And then I think we start fishing.
okay. Are you planning on spending the night here in town, headed back to the farm? What are you doing?
We can go to the farm.
Okay. Strangely enough, there's a lot of traffic on the road this early afternoon. Are you going north around the horn, or are you going to go south?
It's up to
South.
Laney.
Yeah, Laney's driving. Which way
Yep.
you headed?
South.
South. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic on the road this afternoon, um, early evening, all apparently headed into town. You have to pull over a few times where the road gets narrow to let two or three or four other cars pass. Again, it's got kind of a sad funeral procession vibe to it. Again, some of these cars were top of the line 10, 15 years ago. Some of them lovingly well maintained and shiny, and some of them very much not. But each of them has a couple of people in it, um, headed toward town, apparently. As you go around after the first fork, again, they're coming from both directions. Um, so you must 20 cars, easy, um, pass you going the other direction. And again, the faces as they look at you as they pass, just either expressionless or lost, just not happy. So you make it back to the house, the big house, go on up. Um, the the Hawthorns are there, and the missus has been cooking for a while, and she said, I thought I remembered that this was your favorite, and it kind of was. It might not have been your favorite, Laney, but it was in the top three. Okay, this is good old home cooking, reminding you of brighter days. And it strikes me that you would insist that they eat with you. Yeah, none of this servants' quarter stuff. Okay. So Nadine says, "Boy, I almost didn't make it back from town this afternoon. I went in for a few necessaries, and just seemed like everybody was headed into town. I haven't seen there's the White Estate has got all that parking around it for parties and whatnot, and I've never seen those lots that full. I don't did Was there some sort of event going on that I didn't hear about, or
Not that we know of.
There was a death.
Oh, huh. Um, George says somebody died?
A young
Anybody?
woman went over the cliffs.
Oh no, no, that wasn't young Miss Huntington, was it? Oh no. We kind of all keep our eyes open out here, and the people, you know, shoveling the shoveling the manure and making sure the grass is growing. We talk. Um, Jessie Huntington was a very troubled young woman, but and Mrs. Huntington got some really good doctors in here from what we understood. Um, she just her brother died in the war, and she just has never been the same. Oh, how did it happen? Do you know?
Um, well, uh, she was standing on the edge of the cliffs and she went over. Um,
Wait, you saw this happen?
yes,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Was it Cliffs? Huntsman's Cliffs?
yes.
Um,
This, yeah.
that's
Well,
funny. What time of day did that happen?
we we were just there.
Nadine, when did you say you went to town? Oh, I went at 11 o'clock this morning, and I came back probably no later than I started back no later than 12:30. So everybody was headed to town before the death happened. Did you tell anybody?
Yeah, we told the mother.
Um, Ms. Huntington's a little high strung, but I really feel for her. I don't know what I would do if something happened to something something like that, especially happened to one of the kiddos. Oh, but and nobody, I mean, nobody said anything. None of the ladies and gents of the servant type that I talked to in the last couple of days had any mention of some sort of meeting in town.
What about what about a how do you describe it, Laney? A shadowy figure?
Something like that. Very, very obscure figure. I couldn't really tell if it was a man, woman. It was there one second and gone the next.
Okay, Lainey, I would like you to give me or anybody else who wants to, anybody who's got a good passion, go ahead and give
Ooh,
me a read a person.
Ooh, okay. I think I can
Uh,
do. I think I have something along the lines of. Oh no, I never took it. Dang, never mind.
okay, so,
I'll roll initiative.
Lainey, hey, did you want to assist Lainey there, Stony? See if you can get that to a 10.
Let's see. Yes, I will.
So roll plus your trust with Lainey.
Roll plus my trust. Laney, how much trust? I don't think I have. I haven't given you any trust.
I have plus
Okay.
2 trust with you. I don't know if you. I don't think you've given me any though.
Yeah, you get 2 points to throw around since we added Mr. Colt and Mr. Laney
I'll
to the
toss. I'll toss one. Each of
okay,
their ways.
one at each. Excellent. All right, so that would be a 9, partial success. Okay, so that does bump you up to a 10, Mr. Elliott, which gets you 3 questions on the following lists.
Mhm.
Okay. And you can ask these questions anytime during the conversation. The list is on the basics full explanation handout in the journal, but I'll just tell you that. First question is, are they telling the truth? Second question, what are they really feeling? Third question, what do they intend to do? what do they wish I would do, and how could I get them to ... fill in the blank. Okay, so in this conversation, both Nadine and Pete, you just see the walls come up, the ice forms. When you mention the shadowy figure,
Mm-hmm.
what what did you mean about a shadowy figure, Mr. Elliot?
You know, like I couldn't really tell if it was a man or woman. I honestly I couldn't make out any features whatsoever. It's just it looked like there was somebody behind her and she was pushed. Um, like I said, I blink and it was gone. But
So Nadine stands up quick enough that she almost knocks over her chair, and she said, "Oh, I made a pie. Let me go check on it, see if it's cool." She blasts out of there. George wishes he looks like it looks like he wishes he could jump up and leave too. I don't boy, a shadowy figure. I don't think I've ever heard anything about that.
Miss Nadine, let me help you with that pie.
Okay. When you come in the kitchen, she's got her hands on the wash basin and she is obviously shaking. And you hear her muttering what is probably a prayer.
Hmm.
So I'll get back to you in just one second,
mhm.
Mr. Thomas Stone. Laney,
I'm just gonna interject right here. His name's Peter, not George. You got him mixed up.
I'm sorry, George is
Yes.
the fisherman. This is Pete, Uncle Pete.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
sir.
looks like he wished he could sink into the ground.
Hmm. So, what what does he look like right now? What is he doing?
Okay, are you asking what he's really feeling?
No, I'm kind of just giving like a visual description of him right now. Is his head down? Is he just like what's
He's not meeting your eyes. Again, he's kind of going for the gray rock, um, expressionless. He's not particularly good at that. Um, and he's he's not loquacious necessarily, but Uncle Pete, he's kind of a talker. Um, and he's nope, never heard anything about that.
mm,
Digging into his food.
just picking at it?
Well,
Uh,
moving it around, picking up a mouthful every now and again.
okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of where I can go with this.
Again, you got 3 questions on the
Hmm.
list.
So I will ask how he's really feeling.
He is scared and not just for himself.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you also get anytime you take action based on these answers, you get a +1 to that action,
Okay.
if that helps.
So he's scared, not just for himself. Is this is this information I know, or is this information Lainey now knows?
Laney knows.
Okay. I'm gonna play it realistically here. Um, Peter. Um, you're not telling me something.
Not my story to tell, sir.
Not sir, but you
Oh yeah.
seem.
Anytime he gets nervous, he always goes back to like sir and ma'am,
Uh-huh.
young master, that kind of a thing.
Okay. 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 Let's see. Are you sure? There's absolutely nothing you can tell me here. You've always been honest with me.
And Elliot, um, I, I would, I would tell you, but again, it's not my story to tell, and I don't.
Can you tell me who I can talk to?
And he unintentionally glances at the kitchen, and then he meets your eyes.
I'll let you finish your meal, Peter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all of a sudden not that hungry.
You're okay. You're more than okay. You've done plenty. I thank you kindly. I will
Okay.
be I'll be in the other room.
Okay.
And
So,
I walk up and
Tommy,
go to the
you're in
kitchen.
there. You're in there, Nadine. You don't know her real well, but this woman is scared. Again, she's holding on to the wash basin like a life jacket on the Titanic, and she's shaking and she's muttering a prayer over and over and over. And she
Nadine,
comes to herself and she tries to, straighten the apron and Mr. Stone, what the pie isn't quite ready yet. Um, what can I do for you?
have you been to the cliffs?
Okay, dude. She goes white. And just, I mean, no, she goes white and then she just bursts into tears, um, covering her face. You hear a scrape of a chair from the other room. Um, Laney has just walked in, and Pete is close on his heels. He comes over and enfolds Nadine in a big hug, and he doesn't glare at you over her shoulder, but he just looks lost. He's trying to comfort somebody, and he doesn't have any comfort in him, and he's just lost. What do you do?
Hmm. I think I apologize. Um, I have I feel rushed almost. I feel like I need to solve everything so quickly, and I feel I have asked you the wrong questions. Um, I think Tommy's just gonna kind of shut up and maybe try and help with like cleaning the table, doing dishes, like stuff that they normally would do by themselves. I want to help with.
Okay. Pete steers Nadine to there's a little table in there over by the over by the stove. Um, Nice wear patterns on it. The two of them have obviously spent a lot of time sitting at this table and having a cup of coffee. So he sits her down and she's shaking, and he walks over to one of the cabinets and pulls out a bottle of something. Might be sherry, might be wine, might be whiskey. He pours her a little dram of it, um, and she holds it. He throws a kettle of water on because he says he's going to make tea. Um, Lainey, you still have two of those questions off the list.
I know I've been pondering.
Perusing, got it.
Laney absolutely loves tea, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there.
And Sam, the party seems to be going on in the kitchen. If you wanna crash, doesn't appear to be. There was some crying going on recently, but yes, no, yay, nay.
To go to where the party is, or like go where everybody else is.
You know,
Okay.
everybody else is in the kitchen.
Thomas is washing dishes. Um,
I'm wiping the counters down.
and Nadine is trembling in a chair with a small tumbler, about a third of the way full of something alcoholic. Kettle's on. And Pete is half kneeling at Nadine's side with his arm around her.
What's the time currently?
Time of day?
Yeah.
Probably 5-ish.
5-ish. I take a cup of coffee and I go sit outside and just look at the sky.
Okay. Isn't any coffee made, but the tea is going to be ready here pretty quick. So while that's brewing, Lainey, Pete is looking at you like you might know what to do. You know, what do you do?
So I walk over to where Nadine and Uncle Pete are at, and I I'm talking to Nadine more than anything, and I ask her, or I tell her, listen, first off, I just want to say that I would like for you, the both of you, to take tonight and take tomorrow, spend time together. I don't want you working around the house. I don't want you tending to the garden. Don't want you cleaning things. No, I don't care. I don't care.
Nadine's wiping at her face. I'm so sorry. I'm just a silly old lady here.
No.
You know, Elliot, if I didn't have anything to do, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I'd wash the walls, you know. So I don't know that I can promise that.
Okay. Well,
She and Pete have a whispered conversation, and she
mm,
looks gray and steals up. Pete said that you had some questions about a figure.
yeah. That's the other thing I wanted to come over here for.
She tells you a story because she trusts you.
Mhm.
When she and Pete first came here working for your dad, they were very young. Um, in fact, Pete was working for the actual groundskeeper, and Nadine was just a maid. Um, very young, very much in love, had their little tiny little room. Um, and she started to have bad dreams. Um, and the bad dreams typically uh, figured a shadowy figure typically played a part. Um, Lainey, you feel that eyes in the back of your neck feeling again as she starts to talk about this.
Mhm.
And she describes these bad dreams, and the bad dreams, there's some chanting going on um, in a language that she doesn't know. And when she says that very distantly, that kind of ringing in your ears, it resolves itself into a bell. Dong, dong, dong. And underneath it, you hear um, this like voices, like a distant conversation behind doors. You hear human voices, but not what they're saying. Um, and she said she had these horrible dreams that this shadowy figure in a robe, and his head was shaved, the top anyway, and he was in a robe, and he had these burning eyes, just zealous eyes, you know. And he would speak to her in a language she didn't know. Um, and now you're hearing something, Lainey. um, does Lainey speak any languages other than English?
He speaks the slightest lick of German, and that's it.
Well, you spent some time in Mexico, didn't you?
That too, that's true.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Okay. Now the voices are resolving. Okay. Obviously Spanish voices. Um, and they're chanting something. And you very quickly realize that ain't Spanish, that's Latin. There's some cognates, so you're kind of picking up some of the words. Um, but it's a bunch of male voices chanting things about sin and repentance and evil and a cleansing. Okay. It's starting to get quite insistent. So she tells you that she had these bad dreams and she was in a really bad place. And she and Petey lost their first baby. And she was just absolutely beside herself. And the voices got stronger and the shadowy figure was showing up in her nightmares more and more and more. But Petey helped her through it. And just he's my rock. You know, which is what he's like, no, you're my rock. And well, we're rocks together, that's fine, And then it was like a switch was flipped. Done. Um, she kept having visions of going to the cliffs. Go to the cliffs. Everything will be better if you go to the cliffs. And she fought it and fought it and fought it. Would wake up in the middle of the night dressed, like ready to step out the door. And Pete was there. No, honey, no, you don't want to. You were sleepwalking again. No, you don't want to do that. Um, and again, after 3 or 4 or 12 times, it just stopped. And life went back to normal. And she kind of forgot about it until their oldest daughter hit 17. And she started coming down to breakfast looking like hell. And she started complaining of headaches. And she started complaining about this and this and this. And nightmares. And Nadine sat her down and had a few talk about nightmares. And her daughter, Juliana, um, she she was amazed because the nightmares were so similar. Chanting voices and this figure, this man in a robe with burning eyes and uh, the top of his head shaved and voices chanting in a language that she didn't speak and same thing. Nadine and Pete basically kept a good eye on her, got the other kids to keep an eye on her, caught her a few times sleepwalking out of the house wearing, fully dressed. And again, 7 or 8 or 10 times of that, it just stopped. Just stopped. Um, and Nadine said, I felt so guilty. I felt so bad when I was having the dream. All I could think of was every bad thing I'd ever done ever, and how I was awful and sinful and wrong, and I needed to repent. I needed to seek absolution. I needed to to get right with God. And I mean, I go to church, but I've never been, that religious. And since the kids moved away, we don't even get into town on Sundays hardly. Um, oh, and yeah, Juliana couldn't get out of here fast enough when she came to her majority. She went to Franklin and met somebody nice, and they moved to Wisconsin or something. I don't remember. I get letters, but no, I felt horrible. And Juliana said the same thing. She just felt like she was a sinner and needed to repent and just and the cliffs. It's just the everything would be okay. Everything would be okay if we could just watch the sunset on the cliffs and or the sunrise light of a new day, and have it be the darkening of, or the last darkening day, and then the light, and we would be absolved. It was compulsive. It was scary. So to hear that poor Miss Huntington, we knew she'd been in a bad way, but and it's not like anybody would talk about these things to strangers or servants or anything like that. So I just feel so bad for poor Miss Huntington, Mrs. Huntington. So when you said a shadowy figure, and it gave me quite the turn. So, but I feel I feel I feel glad that I told you. Um, so yeah, the voices are still there in your head, Lainey. They're a
Mhm.
little quieter now,
Okay.
and you don't feel that burning gaze on the back of your neck, but
Okay. I say thank you to her for talking to me, and that must have been very difficult, and I appreciate it. Um, I look at Peter, and I don't say anything, but I am gonna ask you what he wishes I would do.
what he wishes you would do. Um, well, about 10 minutes ago, you would have said he wanted you to help bring Nadine, down to some calm. Um, but apparently talking about it helped. Um, I mean, he wishes you keep his family safe, and you're apparently working on that. Keeping Nadine happy, and you're apparently working on that. So, um, nothing immediate, but oh, there may be a little bit of the, that when you're watching the movie and the old guy is like, it's starting again, that look, that thing, he's got that. He's like, oh crap, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is, yeah, is this the first of many or what? Um, so it is now 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh this is a good place to end the session. All right, when next we meet, a mysterious meeting at the mayor's mansion. A luckless young woman throws herself from the cliffs in despondent, maybe helped along by some mystical figure in a robe, burning eyes, chanting in Spanish and Latin. Um, an old family friend distraught from memories of her past. What could it mean? What could it be? So tune in next time, folks. Eldritch Days and Grey Nights. Our season 2 Ghost Ships and Treachery is off to a wonderful start, thanks to our amazing cast. Um, thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here. Next time, we hope to have the full complement. So maybe Madame Etoile and the good sister will show up with their not hard-headed, clear-headed, clear-eyed uh, approach, no nonsense to these darn mysteries. Those ghosts are just going to tell those ghosts to get out of here, because I'm done with their shenanigans. I tell you, done. Because if you let them shenan once, they're going to shenan again. had to get my pun in here, folks. I'm sorry. I make no apologies. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No further questions. All right. So, I was Blaze might be playing us out. That'd be fun. Give me some happy trails there, Tex. All right. Thank you so much, folks, for being here. No theoretical bias would be nothing without our viewers, you know. So thank you for being here. Hope to see you again next week. Also tune in to Angels and Aboleths, run by our good buddy Will here. It's been apparently a hoot. Feel free to check out all of our videos on demand at No Theoretical Bias. Look for some technical upgrades. We're going to be trying to find a video editor to work their magic on our lovely stuff. And feel free to check out Will, how are we going on that Patreon? You're talking and we can't hear you.
Yep. We haven't done anything for it yet, but we should be posting some new content to that as soon as we get our editor there. But yeah, we will be probably pushing that out pretty soon, pushing some more content onto that. We'll be probably doing maybe some exclusive stuff with maybe some guest DMs. So yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Cool. We're also talking about some in-house one-shot ideas, locations, maybe how-to guides to play some of these particular games. Also, shameless plug, No Theoretical Bias was basically formed when I wanted people to live stream my Powered by the Apocalypse game, Splintered Moon, a game of post-apocalyptic fantasy, elves, orcs, dwarves, raiders, mutants, dust, thirst, and clockpunk robots. So that is on sale at on itch.io, and you can see some live streams of the play from our early Team A performances. All right, that's it for us at No Theoretical Bias. I am Saga Smith, aka Owen. Please tune in next week. Please view all of our content.